Alrighty then. Part 2, Sunday, March 5th. I'm starting this as soon as I can, even though I'm a little distracted. Once I get on the highway, it should be a little bit easier. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. Part 2 from recaps. The first one was the recap of the first month's initiation for the King's Initiation Program. I'm not going to go over it again, but I'm sure I'm going to touch base on it throughout this video, so we'll just go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I think I actually will. This is exactly what's going to happen. Pretty sure this will be it. I'm just going to wing it. This video is a comparison video. So at the end of the program, or the end of the month, well, let's just say the end of the program, there is a survey to take. So after the 21 days / 28 days, it's a congratulations, right? Congratulations. I know he uses a specific word, an initiation. I think it's the word that they use, but no, that's not the word that they use. I can't remember. I'm going to skip that anyway. We take a survey, and yesterday was interesting because I made one video which was my big win video, and that is basically a profound moment, or something that happened that was really profound throughout the program. Mine being the forgiveness of my parents, so to speak. So as part of your growing up into manhood, that was cutting me off. One of the most important aspects is the forgiveness of your parents, seeing as nobody's perfect, and everyone who's a human being has some sort of, I don't want to say attachment, but some sort of, I'll use the word, emotional trauma towards their parents. Whether it be resentment or guilt or shame, anger, whatever it is, everybody has it. It just is what it is. It comes with being a human being, right? So a part of the program is the taking out of the time and the opportunity to forgive your parents, whether living or dead. The point is to forgive and ultimately feel better on the inside. Complete surrender to the idea that you are taking charge and are in control, more or less, of your own life, and that you are not hindered by the traumatic experiences of your past as a child. So that was my profound moment, my big win. It was absolutely prolific and amazing. Made the video, went really well. But then there's the exit survey. A series of questions Elliot asks for you to answer, and essentially possibly be used for, let's just say, marketing strategies, which is totally fine. I'm totally good with that. The problem is, if you know me, then you'll know that I may be used to being on camera, but as far as marketing, or let alone people watching my videos, I am not so used to it. It is not something I'm familiar with. I don't ever think that people are watching my videos. Matter of fact, it's like the first time I realized that people more than 10, so double digits. Once my views got into double digits, I started having, maybe not doubts, I wouldn't say doubts at all, like my vlogs are my vlogs are my vlogs. So I don't really care. These are for me. But it was interesting to realize that, wow, they're actually watching these things. It's not just my own view. But not only are the questions that he asked really, what is this? What is this? This is what happens when you don't look at the camera. What is that? Anybody see that? Anyway. His questions are much more distinct, very, very specific. Not necessarily specific, but yeah, they're good enough. So I'm going to rattle these off. There are only 3 of them. The problem is, I not only had trouble, I wonder which one I should say first, since I already said it. I'm not only having trouble with being myself and actually responding in a way that's heartfelt. Now, the first take I did, the first of at least 30 times. The first time was well, actually no, it wasn't that great at all. I started out pretty poorly. I had answers to each question relatively quickly, quite quickly actually. I know the answers that I want to give, and I'm just going to rattle them off to you guys here, get some practice in. But it's so funny when I got on the camera for the survey itself, man. It was pathetic. It was just a joke. Not only that, the internet was garbage. So every time I had a good take, the internet would fail. So we're gonna rattle through off these real quick. And these are the only ones I know of. I gave up after the first 3 questions. I only made it past 3 questions. So there's probably a few more, probably a couple more. I don't know. I gotta find a place with a good connection though. First question is, what has changed the most in your life, essentially? So what has changed the most? I believe I went with, it wasn't the connection. I believe it was, and I was surprised at the discipline, but it's the attitude. I thought of that one. Yeah. I remember my answers. I just can't remember which one was for which. And like after a while, I put the wrong answers to the wrong questions. It was hilarious. So yeah, you can tell I got way in my head. But my attitude, it was absolutely 100% my attitude. My outlook, my perspective, just my overall energy is 180 degree turn, 100% better. Not any amount, like on my best drug day, I would feel good and great and just all happy to go lucky. Now, granted, this is why I can't do it on the other ones, because they're supposed to be very distinct, 1 to 2 minutes. Granted, when I forgot what I was going to say. When you're on drugs, the happiness comes instantly, right? Unless you're, let's just say, addicted. Unless you're so addicted that over the years it takes time to get that same high again. More or less, you get that instant high and you feel great. You feel awesome. Nowadays, it takes time. It takes a cold shower. It takes exercise. It takes vitamin D. It takes fasting. It takes the recognition of actual success, right? Drugs aren't success at all. Even if you consider something that you did successful, like, oh, I did something, I cleaned my room today. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking, I stayed sober for more days than I could ever imagine. I connected with people that I haven't talked to in years. I forgave my parents for years and years of baggage, of holding on to remorse and resentment. These are feelings of success that change my perspective and my attitude on life, and ultimately make me feel better. So that has definitely been the biggest change. My attitude, for sure, has changed significantly. It's noticeable. I can tell. I can feel it. I have had my off days. I'll tell you that right now. I've had bad days. Actually, I haven't. I've had bad mental days. So if I fall off the wagon with faith, you know, I might not be, you know, maybe like mentally. We'll stick with that word. Mentally happy and mentally clear, but I might be physically fine because I have stayed disciplined throughout the week or throughout the day, you know, and hit my goals, so to speak. But the higher goal being, you know, stay connected to a higher power, so to speak, could fall off. So mentally, sometimes it's rough, but physically, it's been almost there, and then vice versa. Most days, almost every single day, if not every day, has been more good than bad. Period. So that's the first question. I already know the answers. That's the problem. Anything else with that? Not really. Yeah, my attitude has absolutely changed. It's kind of weird because I already know the answers, which means that the answers are kind of short and concise. I could ramble on something like that for a while because a lot has changed. You know, don't get me wrong. Plenty has changed. But that one is probably the most profound. Second question, we'll just move on, is what has been the biggest impact in my life? And that's the one where I definitely would have to say are the connections and relationships that I've not only made but reclaimed. Right? So I'm leaving my grandparents' house as we speak. And I wanted to say that in the previous video, if you watched it, I may have mentioned that my connecting isn't even. It's honestly one of the worst habits that I've been picking up on. So this is where it's a little bit confusing. The most impactful, I want to stick with the word impactful though, because my biggest struggle in life is connection. We could probably take this a little bit further than most other questions. While on drugs, this isn't the way I'm going to say it in the video either. This is the problem. So while on drugs, over the years, I have become an introverted, a selfish, very selfish, a very self-centered, a very self-centered individual with a very victimizing mentality. And yeah, I'm glad I get to say these now because, man, I don't know how to even word it. It's a really hard one because connection is my hardest aspect. I became very self-centered on drugs, and I became a loner. Right? I would just be all on my own, become very on my own, very independent, nevertheless, very on my own. And it just didn't help after a while. It just didn't make things good. I enjoyed it, nevertheless. I really enjoy being alone. I'm very comfortable on my own. I'm very content on my own. Not without fault, though. All right, there are good reasons and bad reasons to being on your own. And near the ending of my addictive phase towards drugs, it was a very bad loner feeling. You can't be depressed around people. All right, people will call you out. If there's a happy person around a depressed person, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to say 9 times, yeah, most of the time, that person's going to ask, hey, what's up? What's the problem? How can I help? More so than not. Not everybody's the same way, right? But essentially, I got so on my own that I hated myself, guys. It's that simple. I just hated myself. I don't like using the word, I gotta be honest, but it's the truth, man, and I expressed it every day in a very victimizing mentality. It is what it is. I hated who I had become, and I've said this in videos before, so I know of the vulnerability that I have to go through, but thankfully it's in the past. I knew that I knew that saying it to myself would eventually lead me not only to a dark place, but it would hopefully be dark enough to where I would just need to make the change, and thankfully it did. I did not get so depressed that I ended up taking my own life physically, but I did end up killing myself mentally and metaphysically, so to speak, right? So I'm okay with self-sabotage, don't get me wrong. It is a very careful line to play with because it takes a very strong-willed brain, not to sound egotistical or prideful, but I know most people, or a lot of people, cannot handle the deep, dark, self-sabotaging thoughts even, let alone saying it out loud that, oh, I hate myself, that you suck, you can't do this, you should just die, you should just die. I said it every day, folks, every single day. I would look in the mirror with that grin, with that self-sabotaging grin. So anyway, moving on, but moving into it. It was overnight, because part of the program are the Zoom meetings, and in the Zoom meetings you're surrounded by, metaphysically or connectively, virtually. There you go. You're surrounded virtually by good people, good men. Yeah, good men. And it was an absolute benefit. It was an absolute necessary benefit that I needed. I required positive energy from other sources. It wasn't going to be enough for me to say, okay, you got this, Wiz, you can do this, you got this, man, I'm going to get there. No. Negative. Absolutely not. To each their own. Just to lay that one out there. I'm going to do this here because my elbow is resting, and I think it's vibrating the camera. So, biggest impact was the connections that I made. Not just the new connections via the program, but way, way more importantly, and way more to the extreme. Like, I'm only online during, not only online, but more or less I'm only surrounding to an extent through the Zoom calls, right? Besides that, I've had maybe a handful, maybe like 5 or 10, relatively deeper messages, so to speak, tech messages on the program, where I've received, some pretty powerful support. But it's the support through the family and the friends that I just have not seen in years, folks. And I think I've mentioned this in time before. I think one of the confessional videos mentioned where I can't even take back not seeing family in times past, because I know that who I was being was not a good person. Like, if you actually identify as the bad guy, which I did for years, I knew that what I was doing and what I was being was bad. But that's an addictive mind frame. I could not bring that around. Look at that freaking hawk. Wow, just right there. Didn't even move. I'm going 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, 5 feet off the berm. Wow, what a statue. You guys didn't see nothing. Dang it, I lost it. So I knew that I was being a bad person, and I did not want that around my nephews, my nieces, and any of my family members. They just did not need to see that. And even if I saw them, which I did, holidays, family gatherings, I would show up, but I just wouldn't be myself. I wouldn't be my natural, happy, go-lucky. And not that I'm always natural and happy, but this you will not find in my vlogs from years past. I don't think you will. You most certainly won't find a direct answer, not that I'm direct right now, a direct answer to the questions that may have been preached in times past. Usually they were very open-ended and without understanding, without completion, right? Very much left unanswered answers, very unanswered questions with answers that just are unanswered. Oh man. So attitude's different, and it's because of connection through family and friends, and it's the greatest thing. Another little hint. Another little one-up, I think I've said this in another video, was the dreams. If it wasn't for some of my dreams, folks, which are 100% because I'm off of anything that causes a hangover. That's not because I'm off of drugs. I'm having dreams nowadays on a nightly basis, and a profound amount of them have led me to get back in touch with my family and friends. I have texted people saying, hey, you hit DreamWiz in the face. Time for us to get together and reconnect. It's that simple. Like, I will say it straight up. Like, yep, I saw you last night. I thought of you, and I didn't just think about you. I had such a pivotal, mind-altering brain shift that I need to see you. I have to see people. I have to see my family, friends. It's that simple. I can do this on my own, but not for long. I told you in the last video that I had I'm not doing as good as I want to be with connecting. I really am not. Family and friends is going well, sure. But online in support need, and when I'm needing support, I do not reach out. I did not reach out yet. I've done it once or twice, a couple times. Most of it's through the vlogs, but I don't expect people to watch these. I don't even expect an answer or response. I'm kind of just spitballing. So connection is still a long way to go, but it has definitely been the most impactful change. The most impactful experience thus far in the program. So 12-minute answer, gotta cut it down to 2 minutes. Good luck. Good luck, Mr. Wiz. And last question that I recall was what has been that was the one. What surprised you the most? What surprised you the most? And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I thought of it within a few seconds, so I'm pretty sure it was from the heart, but I don't know if it's absolutely the best answer, for me. So what has surprised me the most has definitely got to be my discipline, right? I am not one. I'm not great on. I'm not that disciplined. Nor am I consistent. So there's discipline, consistency, and I think the other one will come in my head a little bit later. But I forgot it. Right? Consistency, discipline, and just like discipline. But I'll get there. So the program has not been very long, so consistency isn't quite there yet. Consistency will be the 90-day answer, or the 6-month or a 1-year answer. Even 5, 10, 20-year answer. I don't want to wait that long to consider, though. But discipline really surprised me. I was really surprised by my level of discipline in regard to the fact that there's probably a good 15 or 20 habits that I've been picking up on or letting go of, and in times past, I've mentioned I've done maybe 1 to 3 habits at a time. Whether I'm letting go of a habit or picking up a new habit, I've only considered doing 1 to 3 at a time, just because of difficulty. Breaking an addiction is not easy. Starting a new habit is not easy. And I've been doing 15 to 20 on the daily, right? I give the reasoning more so to connecting with others and having support and being accountable. But being disciplined has surprised the crap out of me, because I never thought I would have done this. I hoped, I really hoped I was going to make it far, but I did not think I was going to be doing this well. I had no clue that I had this in me. And to say this positive about it too, I thought I'd be getting burnt out, and I thought I'd be getting all tired, and I thought it'd be hard to sleep, 180-degree shift, happy as a clam, still on track, rocking it. So, half-hour video, gotta bring it down to about 4 minutes in total. I'm just about home. Obviously, you can tell that I just entered Portage County. Oh man, look at the size of that pile of wood. I love those woods. I like how they take away the small trees. The really, really tiny twig trees. Really, really tiny ones that you can't see because they're too tiny. And they stack them. And they leave all the big trees so you can only see so much into the woods. Almost like the camo that you would see on clothing. You could see big trees, but maybe not, I don't want to say. But you can distinctly, it doesn't really look perfect. Camo isn't perfect, but anyway, so I'm almost home. We will go over perhaps the future of how I want to upgrade the habits, right? Well, maybe I'll run through the habits individually, so to speak, and I'm going to basically take you on, wow. Yep, that fell. The river looks gorgeous. Wow, it looks awesome. I'm not going to show you because I just stopped in the middle of the road, but wowzer. So it's well overflowed. It's definitely high. I think it's up about 6 feet right now. If maybe 4 feet, maybe up about 4 feet, maybe less, maybe 3 feet. But anyway, yeah, we're good. We'll go over the habits later and how we're going to upgrade for next month, or this month, since we are already underway. March 5th, so yeah, we're just getting started. Live expressively, folks. See you in the next one.